Harry, how are you today? Got a message from Nicole that you're looking for some information on our operation of the MTU 12 heated holding cabinet, which we have here today. This cabinet has a little different door configuration that you will probably have on the model that you are looking to purchase. This one has the Lexan flip-up doors. Standard model will come with either a solid stainless steel door or Dutch doors that will also be stainless steel Dutch doors. So don't worry about that too much. But real quick, just want to go over the basics of operation of the MTU 12 heated holding cabinet. So first thing first, I've already got the unit on, but real quick, just simple on-off switch on the left of the machine. So we'll go ahead and power this guy on. This particular MTU 12 has an electronic control. You may also be looking at a unit that has an analog control. The only difference is going to be it's going to have a different thermostat readout, but the controls are going to be identical, okay? So first things first, let's go ahead. We've got the unit turned on. You can see two control knobs here. So real quick, the top control knob is going to allow you to adjust the internal temperature of the cabinet, the air temperature. So we can set this from 90 all the way up to 190 degrees. This control also is just an infinite switch, so it will just continue to go. Once you hit 190, it'll just reset back to 0. Again, you may have a different, slightly different control that's going to have a different analog readout here, an analog thermostat versus the electronic readout for your thermostat, but the operation is going to be the same. So we'll go ahead and set our cabinet for 175 degrees. So now that that's set, the next thing we want to do is adjust the humidity control in the cabinet. So the way the humidity control works is with the lower knob here. You can see red for heat, blue for moisture. This is going to be really just a more or less setting. So as you can see, the knob has different indicators, 1 through 6, 1 being the lowest moisture content, 6 being the highest moisture content. And really what this does, it's really an internal timer that tells the unit how often to fire the element that controls the moisture. So just in depth on that just a little bit. We'll open up the cabinet here so you can see where these elements correspond to the controls. So in the base of the unit, you're going to see really what makes all the heat and the humidity for the cabinet. So in the bottom here, you see we have this heat shield. Just going to take this off so you can get a better picture of what I'm talking about. So that heat shield just slides off. And as you can see, we have one element that is now exposed. Just setting perpendicular to that element is a small fan that actually pushes the air across this element, picking up heat and then effectively heating the cabinet. Next, we have the standard 12 by 20 inch, 2.5 inch deep hotel pan. This is going to act as your water reservoir for your humidity. As you can see, after I remove that, now you have a second element exposed. So the second element is laying right directly underneath this water pan. So when you fill this with water, you set that pan on top of that element. The element fires. It's going to create steam from that water that's in the catch pan or in the water basin, and then that's going to effectively add humidity to the cabinet. Now once again, this is really a more or less humidity level. Going to be able to dial in exact temperature, but you're really going to have a more or less humidity setting. So for example, if we turn this to low or setting number 1, in the background we have timers set up for each one of these corresponding numbers. So for 1, don't quote me on this, but for 1, it's going to tell that element to fire for 1 minute and it's going to stay off for 6 minutes. If we go up to 2, the element is going to fire for 2 minutes and stay on for 2 minutes, and it's going to be off for 6 minutes. Each time we adjust the knob to increase the time, is really going to correspond with the time that the element is actively firing. So if we go all the way up to number 6 here, that element is actually going to stay on for 6 minutes, and it's going to remain on the entire time. If we back it down to 5, that element is going to stay on for 5 minutes, and it's going to shut off for 6 minutes. So it's just a time interval based system that really controls your moisture. Another thing to keep in the back of your mind to always know, there are a couple of LED readouts here that I want to go over. So perfect example right now, you can see that the cycle light is on. Anytime you see this on this control for the moisture, you know that that element is actively firing at that time. So you can see if I turn this all the way back down to 1, that cycle light, once that time has elapsed, that cycle light goes off. If I turn this back up, you'll see the cycle light come back on, and then it's going to go through its original cycle, the time cycle that's pre-programmed to adjust your moisture. So really, the longer you have the element on, the more moisture you're going to create. The less time you have the element on, the less amount of moisture you're going to create. And it's really all done between a 1 and 6 setting. The other indicator lights up here, as you can see, the cycle light is on for the air temp. That's letting you know that the air element is actively firing. And again, the air element is the first element that we uncovered. So as that cycle light is on, that's letting you know that that element is actively firing to get up to your set point. So also, the temp recall button, if you hit that temp recall, you'll get a little audible alarm. You're going to see the green actual temp indicator show up, and that's going to show you actual temperature in the cabinet right now versus the set point. So anytime the actual temp indicator light on is not on, actual temp, set point. So as the unit heats up and the doors are open, so once the unit is closed and the temperature is set, you will see that actual temp light show up when you call for that actual temp in the cabinet. Just a couple of other notable things about the unit. Obviously we can see, and I'm going to go ahead and turn this back off, but as you can see, this is going to come standard with 12 adjustable universal slides. These are really easy to remove and clean. These can be adjusted for pretty much any capacity that the user needs to fill the cabinet with. I think it'll come standard with 3.5-inch offsets. And as you can see, that universal tray slide will hold a standard full-size 18 by 26 sheet pan. And those same slides will accommodate 2 12 by 20-inch hotel pans, and depending on if you want to use a 2-inch pan, 4-inch, 6-inch pan, is just where you will need to set your tray slides. So we'll get right back down to the moisture and control of the unit. So I'm just going to go ahead and place this water basin, again standard 12 by 20-inch hotel pan, place this water basin right back inside the unit. And we'll make sure that if we want to run with moisture, that there is water in the water basin at all times. And we just want to fill this with about 2 quarts of room temperature water. A couple of other key features, as you can see, did spill a little bit of water. No worries there. The stainless steel bottom can handle all that. In the very front of the unit, there is also an overflow drain that will allow any spilled water in the cabinet to drain into the catch pan that is just beneath the door. This also helps when you have moisture build up in the cabinet. A lot of times you'll get moisture buildup on the door, and as that door opens, the water will be collected in that catch pan. This catch pan does have a secondary catch pan as well. It will come with a standard stopper plug. That plug can just be removed. Any residual water that's in this catch pan will fall to the bottom catch pan. This can be removed and emptied as needed. So the unit now has water in it. I'll go ahead and put the heat shield back on top of the air element. So really easy. There's just 2 tabs here that actually fit right inside the slots on top of the element housing. And then the back bracket will have a small little cutout that will go right over top of this stud, and that'll hold this element heat shield in place. Obviously you can see that I'm using some hot hands to handle that heat shield. It does get hot. That's where all of the heat is going to go to before it's distributed throughout the cabinet. So if you are going to remove the water pan and the heat shield to remove that water pan, make sure the unit is actually completely cool, or you're using something to protect your hands. Another quick thing to take in consideration is the removable gasket. As you can see, no tools required. All of these gaskets are made in-house, so if there's ever an issue with the gasket needing to be replaced, just let us know. But very simple to remove that gasket and give it a nice cleaning. Just make sure that that's at least wiped down after every shift. Any type of debris caught in the gasket can obviously cause the cabinet to lose its seal, which is not really conducive to the best holding environment. A lot of times food particles or other debris may get stuck in the folds of the gasket. So at the end of the day, just with warm water sanitizer solution, just have the operator clean that gasket off after each shift. That is pretty much it. Basic operation of the MTU 12 heated holding cabinet. If you have any questions, my contact information is attached to the email, so please feel free to reach out to myself directly if you have any questions, and I'd love to help you get any questions you may have answered. Thank you.